Yeah, what's up, everyone? Welcome to FILMspiration, the place where filmmakers come to get inspired. My name is writer-director Edgar Ibarra. Let's get down to business. So, it has been a little while since I've been on the Facebooks a little regularly, but I'm happy to be back. I posed a question on Wednesday because of some, just different things that I'm hearing in the filmmaking community regarding some of the challenges that people are out there seeing. So, Shawn, let me see, approve, cool. Shawn, you are being added. Shawn, I'm going to send you a little hello. So yeah, I've been posing. Hey, Shawn, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Shawn. So finally, nice to finally see you on camera. Shawn, I was just telling everyone in the public. Basically, on Monday, I posed the question of, you know, what are some of the major challenges that people are seeing? Robert Linden, how you doing, brother? What are some of the major challenges that people are seeing out there with regards to being an actor, an actress, maybe somebody maybe you're a filmmaker and you're not somebody in front of the camera. And thank you to absolutely everyone who responded and who took the time to, reach out to me via direct message and then also publicly. I really do appreciate it, and I do want to hear from each and every single one of you. One of those great people that reached out to me was also Shawn Berube. So Shawn, hello, how you doing, bud?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for being on the show, Shawn. So, Shawn, for those of us who are not familiar with you, talk to us a little bit about, a little bit about your background, how you step into acting, and what it's been like for you so far. And then we'll just, of course, jump into the whole question that I threw out there on Monday. Hey, Christina, how are you?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. And yeah, my name is Shawn Berube. For the last 24 years of my life, I've been a law enforcement officer on the civilian and military side, Army and Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
You bet. I've always been interested in the acting thing, but life gets in the way. You work your full-time job, take care of family, and that kind of goes on the back burner so you can provide. And last July 4th, I was at a buddy of mine's house who had a friend over named Danny Ray. And Danny Ray runs a Western wardrobe company. And he ends up on a lot of sets of Westerns, obviously, movies, short films, music videos, you name it. And a lot of times the directors or producers on set would be like, hey, we need a body, to play an extra. We need a drunk patron at the bar. We need somebody to get shot and killed, a bad guy. So they'd be like, hey, Danny, can you throw on a costume and come play that role in our movie? So he ended up being in a lot of movies just because of doing that. Hey, Pam. And so I was talking to him and I said, man, how do I get involved in that? I've always been interested, but never really dove into it. And he says, come out and audition. We're going to be Dark Legend Productions right here in Tucson is going to be shooting a full-length horror film called A Cry in the Night, The Legend of La Llorona. And come out and audition and put your name in the hat. So I said, all right. So last August, I went out. And let me tell you, in the middle of the city, in this neighborhood over on the southwest side, they have built up an old town looking Western village, and you would never know it's there from the street. So you walk in
the middle of a neighborhood, really?
Yeah, down on Fontana, and you walk in there, and it's a whole Western town. The saloon, the bank, you name it, and it's awesome. It looks just like a Western town. So I go there, I put my name in the hat to be an extra, and hey Phil, and there's a part for a sheriff, a very small part, and I was like, hey, what the heck? I've been a cop for 24 years. Let me put in for that. So I go in there, audition, and a couple weeks later, they're like, hey, you didn't get the sheriff role, but we would actually like you to play the part of one of the main actors, one of the leads in the movie. And I was like, wow, I was blown away. So I got the script, did our table reads, and we started shooting the film. And hey, Solomon, and we went out to our first weekend of shooting my scenes, and it was amazing. It was long days. It was rough conditions, sleeping in tents and stuff, but I loved it. And it was like, after that, I was totally addicted. And since then, I just dove in with both feet, and I've been taking all kinds of acting classes and networking, learning the business, doing all kinds of films, short films, movies, commercials, TV shows. And it's just taken off from there. And I got to tell you, the community in Arizona, the filmmaking community, is just amazing. They're so welcoming, warm, friendly, helpful, and pretty much every person I talk to in the business has been more than helpful with letting me in on the projects and helping out. So that's how I kind of got into the acting.
So Shawn, it sounds like it's pretty safe to say that you found a passion that you're not going to be letting go of anytime soon.
No, this is just the start, my friend. I'm attacking it hard here in Arizona, and my plan is to be all well prepared and good to go next year for I'm going to go to Los Angeles and give it a shot out there next year.
Awesome, brother. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. Be praying for you. And here's another question I have before we get to our main question. If you are not doing acting or on a set helping out, is there a piece of you like right here that feels not whole?
When I'm not there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that is just everything for me. When I'm not doing something with acting, I'm thinking about acting. I'm reading an article on acting. I'm listening to videos on like Talent Manager for actors on Facebook. All kinds of great professionals that talk about the business, give advice and tips. So I'm constantly always trying to learn more and soak it all in. I'm just a huge sponge right now, soaking it all in. I want to know as much as I can about this business, so when I hit LA, I'm hitting it with locked and loaded,
Sweet. Now, Shawn, the main question that I threw out there on Monday, I'm always very, very curious, and as old of a question as it is, with as many times as I've asked it in so many of its different forms, it's still always a topic to converse about. Basically, what are some of the biggest challenges as an actor or actresses out there? What are you seeing? What are you facing with regards to, just some of the challenges that are out there and the real life challenges that have to contend with? And so previously, you and I had spoken about, basically in a nutshell, you mentioned that whole work-life balance, right? Because I think everyone has to find their own type of a balance, correct?
Absolutely. There are many things to learn and challenges to overcome while pursuing an acting career. But definitely, as you and I had talked about, probably the number one challenge on my plate at the moment is working a full-time job, balancing that full-time job with a family life, and pursuing the acting, which makes it really hard because you got to work your 40 plus hours a week and try to figure out and find directors and producers who are willing to do projects at night or projects on the weekends, or at least giving you enough advance notice so you can take like some vacation leave from work so you can actually go pursue that. To give you an example, just one of the many examples of my journey so far, last weekend, I worked, the military had a special mission making me work Monday through Friday, waking up at 4:45 in the morning, working all day. And then on Friday, after I got off work, I had to drive up to Peoria, Arizona to shoot a film, and that shot till about 2 in the morning. And then I had to drive from there at 2 in the morning to Chandler, Arizona, which is about another hour drive. So I get there about 3:30 in the morning because I have an audition in Chandler on Saturday morning. So I end up sleeping in my car in the parking lot so I can be ready for the audition Saturday morning. So I do I do the audition, get done with that, and then I have to drive over to Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'm shooting another movie called Yellow Rose, and I shoot that till about 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and then I got to drive all the way back to Tucson so I can finish some scenes for that horror film, A Cry in the Night. Get done probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time I get home, I'm just exhausted, and then I finally get some good sleep at home, and then Sunday afternoon I was shooting another film, and then Monday it's back to work, my full-time job. That's just one example.
And so with a long weekend like that, I mean, how do you? Is there some sort of and I know a lot of us already know the answer to this, but I mean, is there some sort of magic formula, or do you just kind of make pieces fit like you're playing Tetris, and you just kind of organize your schedule and build in the driving time and whatnot? I mean, how exactly do you find the juggling of those pieces come together?
So yeah, that just comes down to planning and organizing. So I find out all the projects I have coming up, find out the locations, I check the drive times. Phones are just oh my God, phones are my savior nowadays, because you just type in the address, it'll tell you exactly how long you need to get there, so I can account for that in my drive time, my travel time, and then find out how long they're going to need me on set and how long it's going to take me to get to the next set. I want to make sure I'm providing good service to these directors and producers, and not being that kind of person that shows up late, or, hey, Jack, I don't want to be that, the actor known that show up late and stuff like that. So I'm very professional and reliable. And so I just plug all the pieces together and make sure it all fits. And if I find that there's like no way I can make it, I'll let the person, the producer or whatever, know that I can't film it that day. And if they're cool with changing it, so I can be in it, cool. If not, then, I just have to pass on that one. But
awesome. Hi, Sally. How are you? Hi, Fermin. How are you? Shawn, so I guess a question that I have is, like, for example, there are a lot of people who say, like they maybe had that itch of doing the acting and, auditioning and running around like you literally all over the map. But, at some point, maybe somebody's going to say, God, can I really do this? Can I really do this? Or should I be really doing this? What do you say to those people who, maybe have that little doubt kind of creep in and play with them? Because my opinion is everything's possible. You just have to know how to arrange your pieces.
So yes, you got to be you have to have a passion for this. Anybody who is tricked by, what you see on the news or the media, or how you see celebrities celebrities living their lives. It's a lot of work. It's a hard work, and you need to have a passion for this, because if you're not willing to put in the time and the money and the sacrifice, you're probably not going to make it. There's just so much that goes in this business that I've been learning along the way that I never had a clue about. And the cost, I mean, it's just like anything. You want to make money from something, you have to invest in it. Yeah. So if you want to make money off of yourself by being an actor, you have to invest in yourself. And that's going to cost money, as far as classes and education and knowledge, and taking, those acting classes, getting headshots done, getting demo reels done, joining all these acting sites that post jobs for actors. It's you have to pay for all those. I never had a clue about that, but each one has like their own little monthly fee, just to be part of it. And then you got to, like, every time a new job comes up and you want to submit your headshots or new headshots for the role, it costs some more money. Plus the money it costs for traveling, gas, wear and tear in the car, your clothes, wardrobes, if it's a low budget program and they want you to wear your own clothes. So it's many factors go into it that I mean, once you start tallying up all the different costs, it gets very expensive. And then the time you have to put into this business is crazy. Like I said, you work your full-time job, and then you go into some acting class, and then you go into some shoot to do 4 or 5 hours of shooting. The time it takes to get your script and learn your character, break down your character, and break down the script and memorize it and put the proper emotions into it. I mean, that all takes time, and you have to like you said, balance it out so you can put the work and time into the role. So when you do perform it, it doesn't come out bad. You want to provide a good service and do the film justice by putting in the work.
Shawn, and so that how important is it for you in your personal life, or just for as an actor in general or an actress? How important is it to have and be able to find that balance, that whatever it may be, that works for anyone out there or for you in particular?
Everybody's going to be different because everybody's lives have different obstacles to overcome, as far as what portion of their time is dedicated to this, what portion of their time is dedicated to that. So for me, I just balance it out. I got my family life that I have to keep a good eye on, because I don't want to neglect my family. You got to make sure you put forth the time and effort into your family, because that's very important. And then you got to break off a portion for the acting, and then you got to break off a portion for your full-time job, to pay the bills. Because just put it out there, people. When you're getting started in anything, not a lot of money is coming in from it.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Just to that, just to kind of cut you off right there, Shawn. Contact of mine, David Vallardo. He actually had a really great comment. He's like, "Your craft costs money? ? Geez, you must love it." And that actually, David, that has a lot to do with the next question I was going to fire off at you, Shawn. With such a big investment, talent-wise, time-wise, money-wise, for things like headshots, reels, resumes, etc., ongoing education, it's an investment, not just a financial one, at many levels. So I'm going to say that you're better off really truly loving the grind about it versus just being all starstruck and all about the glitz and the glamour, correct? Like, there better be, at least this is the way I feel, I hope and I think there needs to be a genuine love for that type of a grind, because it is a grind all the way, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't jump into this career and pursue acting thinking that you're going to get rich off of it. You have to have a deep love for what you do, just with anything. I mean, if you're a musician, you better have a deep love for playing an instrument and singing or whatever, because off the start, you're not going to be making any money off of it. So anything you start off with, I mean, you got your lucky people out there that, just like a lottery winner, you get your onesies and twosies that just fall in the right place, right time, know the right person, the right time, whatever. But for the most part, the thousands and thousands of actors out there who are pursuing this career, you really got to love it. You really got to love doing it, because, as we've talked about, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost time, and there are rewards at the end of all that hard work, but you got to be willing to put in the work to get there.
Cool. And Shawn, so another question that I had was with regards to, oh man, I'm going blank right now. Okay. So here we go. We're talking about, last night we were talking about the passion that goes into the craft, and how it's not about, like you said, every now and then you will have that lottery winner, the person that maybe gets a quick discovery and after maybe a few months or a few years. And I stress a few because, for the most part, we're talking about last night, as the saying goes, it takes 20 years to become an overnight success, which is absolutely contradictory to itself. And I love that saying for that reason, because of the contradiction. But I mean, it's truly about a marathon versus a sprint, correct? Like, I mean, I can't get into this thinking you know, I'm going to give myself a year and a half, and if I don't make it, then never mind. Like, it has to be about the marathon, correct?
Yeah, you have to be in it for the long haul. It's going to take a while to get because to make a movie, it is not about one person. I mean, I don't care if you're Brad Pitt, George Clooney, whatever. That you can't make that movie with just Brad Pitt. It takes hundreds and hundreds of people for those big projects. For the lower projects, it still takes tens to 20 people to make a movie. And that goes all the way from pre-production to actually filming to post-production. There's all kinds of people involved, cast and crew, the light people, the sound people, the camera people, the editing people. So yeah, once you get started with in this career, you got to be willing to go the long haul, because it does not happen overnight, and you're going to have to put in many, many weeks, months, and years to really hone your craft and get involved, because a lot of this is networking. So, hey, Christopher, we got to talk about Christopher in a little bit. That guy hooked me up here at the beginning too.
Yeah, and Christopher, he had a great comment. He said, acting to me is for the love of the art, not for the money. It's the experience, the fun, and all super duper applicable, in my opinion, because I mean, you know, we all need the money for sure. I mean, because we got bills, and we kind of like to eat this stuff called food, which costs money and whatnot. But I mean, you know, there has to be fun in it. There has to be some sort of joy that you find in it.
So yes, the joy is being on sets. Edgar, oh my God. For me, I just love it. I love being on a set. I love just sitting there, even if I'm not the one behind the camera at the time or in front of the camera. I love just being behind the scenes and watching, helping with anything I can help with, just watching how it all comes together. And the biggest reward is seeing the final product on the big screen, seeing everybody's hard work come together and make a cool story or a cool movie up on the big screen, and you see people's reactions or hear people's reactions while they're watching it. That is, for me, that's the most rewarding thing. I love hearing, you know, you're doing a comedy scene and you hear the audience, you're waiting, and you hear the audiences burst out in laughter. You're like, success, boom, this was all worth it for me. Those you know, hours and hours of effort and time put into this project just makes it worth it.
I think that's one of the big unspoken things that I definitely like to verbalize a lot, is when you're able to have that feeling and sit there, you know, during or maybe after, you know, if it's a short film or a feature film or something for television, and afterwards, as David Bayardo was saying, gratification, afterwards, or maybe during, you're literally sitting there thinking, we made this. We created this, you know, whether that we is, you know, you and your buddies, or you and maybe some people you just recently met, but you know, it's part of something, or it's something that you are a part of, that you helped create and you played a role in creating. And that, to me, a lot of times is where a lot of that gratification comes from. Like, yeah, we made this, and it'll be there forever for everyone to see, and, you know, hopefully publicly, somewhere online. But I mean, that's one of the big takeaways when you put together something well put together, or as well as you can put it together with regards to, you know, hey David, how you doing? With regards to, you know, the time and the resources. Did you ever think, like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, that you'd be in the filmmaking world and in the filmmaking hustle, running all over the map, Shawn?
Not at all.
No.
It's so surreal to me that I even have an IMDb page with all kinds of filmography on it. Like, I have all these films attached to my name now, and I was like, I never thought I would have had that. So that is surreal to me, and I love it. It's so cool, and I just want to keep it going and make as many films as I can make. It's amazing feeling. And I got to tell you, I couldn't do it without the love and support of so many people out here in Arizona. I mean, I just got to name some off the top of my head. It's like the people who got me started, Danny Ray, everybody at Dark Legend, Productions, David Jones directing it, Jesse Jackson, Joseph Korn, and his wife Pam that wrote it, and then Christopher Prado. He's shooting a TV show out here called You Only Live Twice. I reached out to him and he said, absolutely, let me get to my project. He gets me in it. And then Chuck Williams, who is been in the business, Hollywood, for 50 years. You know, he gives me some of his lines to say in the movie, the TV show. And then you got filmmakers like Ryan Riffle. That guy, he's pumping out a film like once a week. That guy is amazing. I did a cool film with him called Hunted. Met all kinds of cool actors. Colton Dietz up in Phoenix, Stephen Davis, Paul Kavanaugh, Amanda Garcia, Yellow Rose, John Light, the film. I mean, I just go on and on. Just so many producers, directors, writers, actors, actresses that have just been nothing but helpful to me, supportive, you know, giving me tips, helping me along the way, motivating me, inspiring me. My coworkers, my bosses, I mean, they have been nothing but supportive to assist me when needed, to help me in pursuing this. So I can't thank everybody in the Arizona film community enough for how, and I hope it's like this everywhere. I've heard it might not be.
Mm-hmm.
I heard, you know, LA might be a little different. They might not be as supportive and friendly, but we'll see. I hope that's not the case. But I'll be me. This is me. I'm just always outgoing and happy and willing to put in the work, you know. So hopefully that's what matters. Hopefully the people I work with out there will be the same. They see my hard work and dedication and will want to work with me because they know I'm going to give them my all. So.
Shawn, in your case in particular, are you open to basically a lot of different things that are coming your way, or do you want to eventually get to a point of saying, okay, I want to play, you know, these type of roles in particular? Like, where are you at, and where would you like to be, or are you just kind of open, generally speaking, to a lot of different things?
So one of the things, and I got to give credit to Wendy Elaine Wright. She has been in the business for years. She's on Facebook, and she has that group page, Talent Manager for Actors. Mm-hmm. And on it, she's always providing videos and free advice to get, especially new actors, up to speed so they can be ready to go attack places like LA. And by feeding that advice and teaching me along with all the teachers out here like Austin Buchanan, Walter, Chuck Williams, and all the teachers and coaches out here, they get you prepared if you're willing to put in the work and the time, so you can be ready to, you know, hit the mainstream. Like I said, such as, you know, understanding how to act and getting good at your craft and getting the headshots and getting the demo reels and stuff like that.
Is there a particular type of role that you want to play more of?
So yeah, that was one of the other things is they want you to find out 4 typecast for you personally. Mm-hmm. And it's good to identify, you know, what your typecast is. So for me, for example, obviously with my law enforcement background, I love playing the first responder, the police, the fireman, medic, a military member. Also, I really enjoy playing a villain. So I'm actually playing a villain. Yeah, doing the opposite of everything you've been in your whole life, you know?
Yeah.
And so playing the villain is definitely characters I enjoy playing. My favorite genre of movie and character I like to play is action. I'm an action kind of guy. So anything involving action, fight scenes, you know, cool action scenes, special effects, you know, get me on the harness and do some cool, you know, fight scenes or something. I would be all for that. So cool. That's definitely my favorite kind of, because I grew up with my favorite, you know, definitely the people I look up to in the acting world, for me, is like people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Not too new on the scene, but newer is people like Jason Statham, Vin Diesel. You know, those kind of actors and the movies they do. That is definitely my cup of tea. That's where I'm the most comfortable and like to be. But it doesn't matter the film. I will put forth 110% effort no matter what. I mean, I just did a film for Yellow Rose, and one of the scenes was a drag club scene. So,
what, you? Really? Well, I mean, I could ask, and I do want to ask, like, what role you had in that scene, but I don't want to like ask for any sort of film secrets if I can't be, if we shouldn't be divulging them. So, but I will leave it at that.
You can definitely go to Yellow Rose on Facebook, and they got all kinds of pictures and stuff. So whatever they release on their Facebook, I would say is safe to know about the movie. But yeah, I won't release anything other than that. But so yeah, just to give you an example of my range.
Yeah,
I definitely have range, and I'm willing to play whatever character and put in the work and the research needed to make the character believable. And for me, I just love bringing characters to life. So even though I have my favorite genre and my favorite kind of characters I'd like to play, I'm not afraid to try any other kind of character and put in the work.
Shawn, here's another question I have for you. This goes back to art versus real life versus art, etc., and where the two not collide, but where the two meet. You said you like playing, you know, your first responders. You're a first responder in real life. How important or necessary is it to be able to connect in that way, or just to be able to connect at all to somebody that you have on the page with something that you do in your own real life? Because I've seen that when that connection is there and the familiar brings the second nature to the performance, it's not really performance, and you help me forget that I'm watching acting, because it's not really acting, it's real. So I'm fascinated by that, because I mean, you know, if I know a nurse, I'm probably going to ask them, hey, you want to play a nurse? And it's going to be natural to them. There's really nothing to it. So I mean, how important or necessary is it in that case to be able to have that connectability to those aspects of the character as they relate to your personal life?
Sure, and that's something that they teach you along the way, and it's really important that you have to be able to take that character on paper and then somehow connect it to you, a portion of your life, and then bring it out onto film. And it's so important to do that, because when you do that, it's like you're not acting. You're just performing a scene in your life. And it needs to be that way, so it comes across as not acting. And people can tell. You've seen the movies where the person's acting.
Yeah.
And then you've seen the movies where you're like, oh my God, that's like, you believe it. And it has to be believable. If you're not tricking the audience and making them think it's real, you didn't do it properly. So it's so important as an actor to hone your skills and work on your craft, so you can actually deliver that performance and make it believable and make it realistic. And do your homework. I mean, for example, there are audience members out there who know certain things about certain careers. So, for example, if you're playing a cop on a TV show or on a movie, and you do something that a cop would never do, some audience members, a lot of them out there, will hone in on that and be like, that ain't real.
Yeah. Hi, Mina, by the way.
Hey.
Yeah, and you know what? So I recently saw, what's the name of that movie with Brie Larson? The Room, or Room, I think, where she and her son, they've been unfortunately like locked away in a room by some creepo for a bunch of years. I think it's 5 years within the storyline. There's a media aspect to it. If you've seen, or if anybody out there has seen the film, there's a media aspect to it when the story gets over there. And I'm a member of the media, and I saw this, and I'm just like, no, that's unrealistic. Like, you know what I mean? And it's true. It's true. You know, like when something is going to be unrealistic, and when something rings super untrue. Or another big gripe that I have is the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, Night Watch, or no, Night
Where he's
Watcher.
chasing
Yeah,
stories on the camera,
yeah, yeah.
news stories.
Yeah, I think it's called
Night Watch,
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. Yep.
Nightcrawler. I think that's what it is, and there are so many things where I'm just like, oh my God, that is so like not real life. You know what I mean? But I do admire, that they try to take and build and construct a story on the basis of that. But yeah, I mean, you could tell that when my advice in those instances, I mean, this is more of a writer's thing, or writers in conjunction with the director and with the actors, do some homework. If I have a question about, hey, how would a cop hold a gun, Shawn, I'm going to call you up and I'm going to say, hey, Shawn, how does a cop do this, or how would a cop do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's my 2 cents. Do some homework.
And like on big production movies, for example, a military movie, they'll actually hire, very experienced military members to be on set to give advice and be an advisor and be like, no, we wouldn't hold a gun like that, or we wouldn't low crawl like that, or we wouldn't do movements like that, to make it more realistic. So very important. And I saw a question here by Jack Albert. And let me tell you, Jack Albert, that guy's a genius, but he also makes movies and the video editor, and he's amazing. But he says, could I see myself playing the same role for a long number of years? Absolutely. I would love to end up on like one of those law enforcement TV shows, NCIS,
Law and Order.
Law and Order. I could definitely, or Blue Bloods.
Yeah.
I could definitely see myself doing that for many years, being on a regular TV show as a law enforcement officer or detective or investigator or whatever. And I would definitely love it and enjoy it.
I think that, like, I know obviously the notion's going to be out there, oh, well, that person is pigeonholed or typecast all the time, right? My 2 cents is, okay, yeah, it might be true, but what if that person is happy playing those roles?
Right.
What if that's their thing, and they're like, I'm good and I like this. Just like the way maybe you see soap stars on the same soap opera for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And, so it does kind of get me to wonder, like, what if that person's happy doing that? You know what I mean? And so, and if they are, I mean, obviously they're you continue to do it. I'm going to say there's some happiness component or element going on there.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of these like actors in Marvel movies, once they're cast in that superhero, they're stuck in that for years.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're complaining, obviously, and they're making good money too.
Yeah.
But,
hey, Kat. But yeah. I mean, it's
but
paying
they're
the
enjoying
bills
it.
too.
Yeah, and it's paying the bills. And for me, it's just making a movie. I really don't care, what's I do. Obviously, one extreme to the next. But as long as I'm working in the field, being a working actor, and doing what I love, yeah, I don't see myself getting tired of this anytime soon.
Cool. Shawn, so if there's one final, just to kind of wrap it up, is there something else that you'd like to add, or maybe something that I've not addressed with regards to, just challenges that are out there for actors and actresses, or just something in general that you want to put out there to the filmmaking community? If there is something out there that you want to communicate, what would that be? If we could sum it up to a bottom line from your behalf.
Just I would say that one of the other challenges I'm working on right now is I put a lot of time into finding projects and getting auditions and stuff like that, because right now I'm independent. I don't have representation. I chose that at this point in time in my career, because once again, I'm learning the game as we go, and I want to be when I go to it. Yeah, that was loud.
That was sorry, dude. That was my other freaking phone. It just dropped on the ground.
When I actually become represented by a talent agency, I want to go there ready to rock and roll. I mean, I want to be prepared. I want to have everything, all my ducks in a row. You know what I'm saying? I want to have my headshots ready. I want to have my typecast ready, and my demo reel ready, and my resume ready. And so until I do get that agent who is helping me find auditions, because you still got to look for yourself. Even when you do get an agent, I've talked to many actors who do have an agent, and they're still hustling independently, looking for work, looking for films to work on. I just wish there was an easier way to like bring all these different producers and companies and people who are making movies, make it in more of a easier area to find, so you can put your name in the hat and audition for them. Because right now, a lot of time, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of time goes into searching social media and internet sites for jobs. So that's a challenge I'm working on right now to try to improve on.
Shawn, so my show that I've been doing for a while, it's called FILMspiration. It's film and inspiration. And so one of the spiels at the end I always like to remind people of is, hey, you know what? If you're in the film craft, if you're an actor, an actress, a filmmaker, in front or behind the camera, etc., my thing is run out there, do your thing. Don't wait for anyone's, consult your higher power. But beyond that, don't wait for anyone's blessing or anyone's permission. That's always my 2 cents. And so what do you tell some, and you, like I just asked you, like, if 12 months, 18 months ago, 2 years ago, you were able to picture yourself doing this, and I'm pretty sure, it's far from this, but what do you tell somebody out there who says, could I do it? Should I do it? Should I take the leap into filmmaking, either in front of the camera or behind the camera, etc.? Like, they just have that itch and they just want to scratch it. What do you tell that person?
I would tell them definitely pursue it. I would tell them get yourself involved in some kind of acting school or class, either locally, or if you can make it to Phoenix area, or even better, to LA. Get yourself involved. If you're doing it locally, just a couple I've worked with that have been super helpful is Chuck Williams' master acting class, Film Actors Workshop. They're both almost next door to each other. They have classes all the time. Chuck Williams is on Wednesday. Film Actors Workshop is pretty much almost 7 days a week. They got some kind of class going, whether it's scene study, monologues, improv, video editing. Just amazing instructors over there. Vi, Walter, Brianna, Amber, which you've interviewed before, Austin Buchanan. Just amazing instructors willing to help. And don't be afraid to ask. The worst thing that can happen is they say no. And I can tell you, I've been blessed and I'm thankful for it. I mean, pretty much everybody I've asked if I can, have a part in their movie or help with their project in any way, they said absolutely. I mean, it started with, like I said, with Dark Legend Productions, and then Christopher Prado, and Amanda Garcia, Paul Kavanaugh, just all these different filmmakers, Derek Carlson, Ryan Collier Woodford, Ryan Riffle. They've just been so welcoming, and obviously, they see that I put in the work, and I do what I need to help with their project. But they've just been, I'm so thankful that they gave me the opportunity. So, and I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I remember Christopher Prado. I couldn't sleep one night. I was up at 4 a.m. So I was like, oh, let me go through Facebook. I was just surfing through Facebook. I came across Christopher Prado's TV show, You Only Live Twice, and I read about it. And I was like, oh my God, this TV show is based on true events. about addiction and the challenges that you go through after you come out of rehab. And part of it had to do, a real life situation had to do with an interaction with a Tucson police officer. So I was like, oh my God, I got to reach out to this guy. So I sent him a message, and he called me the next day, and it was amazing. We just, hit it off, and I can't wait to show you guys all that stuff.
So it sounds like, reach out to people, right? Like reach out to people, get involved, and don't be scared to reach out and get involved.
Yeah, definitely get involved. Don't be afraid to get on set and just be the guy that helps set up the scene. I've done that. I mean, I've worked with Eric Flores. He's actually a fellow military member. Where we actually, it's crazy. I got to tell you this story because it's so cool. So Eric is a military member, and I'm a military member, and our offices are right next door to each other. And for months, we just crossed paths. And I'd be like, hey man, never knowing he was a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And then I went to a Vi's little fundraiser at a bar for his tiny house movie project he's working on. And I see Eric Flores there. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm a filmmaker. And I was like, what? I'm an actor. And it was like, holy crap, we work next door to each other. And now I've been working with Eric on a couple of projects. Furry the movie, that one, you can go to his website and or his Facebook post on that. That one is going to be awesome. We got some stars in that, like Michael Ocho Terreno. Everybody knows Ocho. That guy is like involved in everything. But so my point being is, you just don't know who's making projects out here. So just talk to people. And as Chuck Williams put it, is if you're not willing to advertise yourself, why is anybody else going to be willing to advertise you?
That's true.
So if you're choosing to be an actor, you have to be willing to talk about your work and about what you do and promote your stuff. For example, Chuck, he runs Avondale Pictures, and he's shooting a Western this December called The Righteous 12. And I was just like, hey, can I be part of that? And so it's all about networking and getting involved and showing them, through your work, what you can provide. So if you're going to get into this, get involved, talk to people, network, get on set. Don't be afraid to do the labor, because when you start, it's going to be low budget or no budget movies.
Yeah.
So
very true.
All hands on deck. You need to help wherever you can help. So when I'm not in front of the camera acting a scene, I'm behind the camera. Hey, what do you need me to do? You need me to hold a light? You need me to, you know what I mean? You need me to move this table out of the way, set up the scene. You need me to block the windows to make it look like it's nighttime, whatever. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, especially early in your career. Now, yeah, granted, when you get to the bigger projects, yeah, you're not going to be doing that. They're not going to want you to do that. But when you're just starting off, get involved. Don't be afraid to ask, and the worst they can do is say no. Very true.
Very true. And Shawn, so if anybody here watching, or maybe afterwards, after I repost, would like to reach out to you, how can they do so?
So you'll see some links coming up on the screen there. My wife is being very helpful and posting some links, but you can go to my actor Facebook page, which is basically Actor Sean Berube, SeanBerube. I have an Instagram page, which is my name again, Shawn Berube _. I have an IMDb page, which Annie just posted, which I'm very proud of.
Yep.
That it actually has all kinds of projects on it now. So I'm so excited for that. Let's see what else. A bunch of, not a bunch, but a few of my movies and projects are on YouTube now. One of them being Hunted. So you just type in Hunted Riff Rails and it'll come up. The Fall of Max Payne with Colton Dietz. They got a trailer on YouTube. Another thing is, as an actor, you want you want to learn certain things, obviously how to act and how to do that. But other things you want to get proficient at is doing your own videotape, video auditions. So you want to learn a little bit about lighting. You want to learn about a little bit about the camera, so you can actually record yourself doing auditions at home. Because if you constantly, you know, count on other people to do that for you, one, they're going to get tired of doing favors for you, or two, you're at their mercy, so you're waiting for them. Sometimes you need it right away. And three, it might get expensive because, you know, some of them are going to be charging you to do that each time.
And it's not difficult because, I mean, you can go to the University of, oh, that's right, University of YouTube, where all the classes are free, and you can learn, like, you know, how do I light a scene? How do I light myself? And, you know, there's all kinds of great videos and reference points there on YouTube. I mean, I'm always saying, you want to learn something, go to YouTube. I mean, it's free, it's simple, and I mean, that's what it comes down to. So, but that's pretty awesome.
And another helpful thing would be the video editing. Get some kind of video editing program. It doesn't have to be, you know, one of the biggest, best one that's going to cost you a lot of money. You can get a cheaper one, which I did just to start off with, but I'm sure I'm gonna upgrade to Adobe here soon. But learn the basics of video editing, how to, you know, cut and paste your videos together. You know, add sound, take away sound, you know, correct the lighting a little bit on it. Because once again, that'll help you. Because once you record yourself, you want to put on the video editing so you can make it look professional. So you can make your own demo reel. I mean, that's what I ended up doing. Instead of counting and relying on other people to get my demo reel done for me and costing a pretty penny, I just went out and made my own. You know, I took some footage of some of the films I've been in, which I got to tell you, that's another thing that's really difficult, is actually getting your footage from your films that you're in. That is another challenge I can throw out there. Getting actual footage of you post-production is really difficult. But when you can finally piece some of it together, put together your demo reel, and if you learn the basics of video editing, you can piece it together yourself and make a pretty good looking demo reel all by yourself.
Sweet. Awesome, Shawn. Shawn, thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here with my little spiel. Everyone, Shawn, you're the prime example. Everyone, run out there, do your thing. Don't ask for anyone's blessing. Don't ask for anyone's permission. Run out there, do your thing. Live your dream. And I'm doing it every single day. Shawn, you're obviously doing it, and with no plans on stopping anytime soon. And thank you so much for sharing of your knowledge and your wisdom, Shawn. Shawn, go ahead and send me all your links, and I'm going to go ahead and send them to me via direct mail. That way I can make sure to get all of your contact information in the description of the video once I repost the video, and just to make sure everyone can get in touch with you if they see you on here and say, hey, you know what? I need to reach out to that guy, Shawn, right there. Everyone, thank you so much. Shawn, thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it. Your time.
Yeah, Edgar, and, I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you having me. I thank you, and I wanted to thank everybody that did log on and watched us live and sent comments. So thank you very much to all them. That's awesome.
Cool. Thank you very much, everyone. All the YouTube links, all the Facebooks, the Instagrams, yada yada yada, all also in the description of the video. Everyone, Shawn, any final closing words? Just a big thank you, and you know, I'm so grateful to everybody. You can't do this alone. You know, doing this kind of work, it really, like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. It really does take a village to make film. So thank you to everybody, and let's keep doing it. I mean, the Tucson and Arizona is having a film boom right now, and let's keep it going. Sweet, awesome, very true, very true. Everyone, thank you so much. My name is writer-director Edgar Ibarra. This has been Filmspiration. Look for the repost of this video, and Shawn, I'm going to make sure to tag you in that so everyone's aware. That way everyone can see it all over again. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Shawn. I appreciate it.
Adios.
Adios.